Yes. Oh!
Hello! Hello, and welcome, one and all, to Grand Slam Galaxy Playdate number 9. I am your commissioner, Willie or Won'ty. Unfortunately, my co-commentator, Silver Lily, is down and out with a little bit of a health issue right now, so I will be solo casting Grand Slam Galaxy Playdate 9 at night. Due to interference, we are starting this playdate at 8:30 at night, which means I won't be finishing until like midnight, which is appropriate which is appropriate considering that by chance all of our games today are going to be happening at night. Let's take a look at the standings and talk about today's games, because we have some barn burners coming up in the schedule. Today's matchups, well, let's take a look at the top of the scoreboard. You'll notice that the Flowers, the Raw Eggs, and the Monsters are all very closely competing for one of those two bye spots at the top of the scoreboard in first or second. The Flowers and Raw Eggs both at 6 and 2. The Monsters with a league leading plus 23 run differential despite a 5 and 3 record, which I realized right before I actually went live. The reason for that is in no small part because of their 3 losses, 2 of them were by 1 run, and that team both time was the Raw Eggs, which is very funny. However, more seriously, the Monsters are going to be in a little bit of a battle and could end up in first place on the standings today. Why? Well, the Flowers and the Monsters is our highlight game of today. The two Titans going at it. If the Flowers win, of course, they'll stay at least atop the scoreboard, maybe dropping by run differential if the Raw Eggs also win. Whereas if the Monsters win, they will be at minimum tying the Flowers in record, but most importantly jumping ahead of them to secure at least a second place spot on the standings. That's our highlight game. Of course, our other games tonight are going to be the Wilds versus the Monarchs. The Wilds currently sitting in 5th, the Monarchs currently sitting in 7th. The Scrambled Eggs versus the Revenge. That's the 6th and 8th place team, which is going to be a very interesting game to watch. And then, of course, last but not least, the Infernos versus the Raw Eggs. The Infernos sitting at that 4th place, and the Rotten Eggs, should they win, have a real chance of kicking their way up to the top of the leaderboard, which they haven't been in since Playday number 3. We'll see which of those storylines evolve. I think that the most interesting way to play this out will be to start simple. Let's start with the Wilds and the Monarchs. Get the standings going. There we go. Okay, these two teams have definitely hit a little bit of a struggle bus, sitting right now in, of course, that 5th and 7th place. The Monarchs, this is their first time this season, I believe, where they've been in an elimination spot, though they still have plenty of time to right the ship. And the Wilds climbing back up after a tumultuous start to an even 4-4 record. In the previous game where these two teams faced off against each other, that was actually Playday number 1, the Wilds crushed the Monarchs 3-13 with home field advantage on DK Jungle. The Monarchs, now with home field advantage, have chosen to take the Wilds to a bit of a wild park. Yoshi Park, specifically. And while you might expect me to be a bit angry about the fact that Yoshi Park is coming up, I have to actually applaud Monarchs management. This seems like a smart play because the Wilds had a lot of trouble scoring on this field last Playday against the Flowers, that ending in a 2-3 scoreline. So the Monarchs, who are expecting to be one of the lowest score teams of the league, taking the Wilds straight to a stadium they just struggled on, makes sense to me. However, there are some additional qualifications here. First off, that was with the Flowers defense and pitching depth, which does a little bit better than the Monarchs. While they have a very, very, very good pitcher in Peach, enough cannot be stated about the pitching depth that Luigi and Daisy bring to the Flowers roster for that little bit of defensive stability. Number 2, we're going to Yoshi Park at night, which is a very chaotic field and could easily screw up the defenses here. Now, I think that actually does help the Monarchs more than it helps the Wilds, but we'll have to see which way it swings when we start off. Let's do a quick verification to make sure that the players are all set and ready to go. Can you tell that I'm a little bit excited to get this Playday started? After all, you know, I do want to go to bed at some point tonight. Regardless, everything's looking all good on the field right now. So we're going to jump straight into game number 1 of Playday number 9. The Wilds versus the Monarchs. The Monarchs seeking revenge in their home field game of this series and taking us to Yoshi Park at night. Should be an interesting game from both these teams, of course. Yoshi Park, I mean, I've railed on it about it being a little bit of a chaotic field, but maybe that little bit of chaos will help the Monarchs out, as they are obviously right now the team that needs this win more, currently sitting in 7th place. Plenty of time to fix that with 6 Playdays left, but Toadsworth, knowing that, seems to want to take this game pretty slow. 2 balls to start. Tato, though, finds the 3rd pitch for a good slap out to center. That'll be a single to start the game. That'll bring Funky Kong up. Interesting characters, Funky Kong. Line drive from him is actually the best you can hope as a Wilds fan, as that will put 2 on and set up the optimal position for the Wilds. Starred Captain DK, 2 runners on, Yoshi Park. He didn't hit a single home run, I think, in the last game that the Wilds played on Yoshi Park last Playday, that 3-2 scoreline. Will he go for it now? No, he wants a slap. A slap that lands just outside of Toadette's glove, but she's quick on the fielding, getting out Funky Kong at second. That means runners in the corners now for Baby DK. And this is a pretty decent spot for the Wilds. They've got some good slap batters up, so they should be able to bring Tato home. Pending disaster. Baby DK's slap does land true, and despite a mild bobble from Toadette, well, the result's the same regardless. Tato comes in, and run number 1 scored quickly for the Wilds. An excellent start for them, but it's only 1 run on the board. Nothing to call home about just yet. Can Reggie make it 2? A good hit could bring DK home if it goes all the way to the wall, and it looks like that charging hit wants it, but it's a whiff and strike number 2. 3rd pitch, hit, but that will just be a double play as Blue Critter clears it up, and that's 1 run on the board for the Wilds. After a pretty good start, I mean, they can't complain. They got a run for the inning, but they could have hoped for a bigger score. No, Blue Critter from the Monarchs, though, now needs to return the favor. It's a low hit, a line drive out to left field for the first blood for the Monarchs with a clean single. Narissa follows it up with another clean single of her own, but whereas DK came in for the Wilds here, the Monarchs hitter in this situation, well, Blue Shy Guy. We've seen decent slaps from Shy Guys when they needed. We've also seen them hit straight to fielders, and that will be what happens this time. But a lucky, incredible banana stunning both Boomerang Bro and Gray Shy Guy. It also stunned Blue Critter on the run back, so we'll still get out. But that would have been a triple play if not for the banana. A double play is about the best you can hope for. Blue Noki with a good slap to put runners on first and second. So a bit of recovery, and Blue Pianta is one of the most consistent hitters that you can have in the league. So still a chance for the Monarchs to retaliate to the Butterstick with one of their own. Blue Pianta's ball does find a good angle. Narissa takes the chance and runs all the way home, actually. And that will mean that the Monarchs, despite it all, tie up this game at 1-1. They also see more batters, which means they'll get back to their star hitter quicker. Blue Toad is also quite a consistent hitter, but that's a big pop fly, and Gray Shy Guy panics from the banana, though. Dixie can't find it either. Blue Pianta almost gets tagged out there, but despite it all, the banana saves the play, and off 2 miracle banana plays, the Monarchs find their way into a 2-1 lead. This was as much as the Flowers were able to score on the Wilds in that suspiciously low-scoring game, and the Monarchs have done it in inning number 1. Miraculously, it doesn't look like they're done yet. Toadette, miraculously is too mean a term, but they're definitely not done yet. Toadette hits a single to load the bases for Toadsworth. Any hit that avoids the infield is good here, but Gray Shy Guy comes in clutch when his team needs him, laps up the inning. The Wilds do fall behind, but it's only by 1 run, and there's still plenty of baseball left to play. So we'll head back to the Wilds in the top of inning number 2, and Boomerang Bro, the hero of last game, by being just bad enough to help, starts this one off with a good slap to get on base. Credit to the man. So Gray Shy Guy will follow up. The last Shy Guy turned into a little bit of a... Wait, did he hit into a double play? Yeah. Gray Shy Guy for the Wilds. Smacks it right to Blue Pianta. That's a double play again. So, not a lot of chances for production unless Dixie and Tiny come up big, which is not something you usually bet on. Though it looks like Dixie wants this one, charging early against the slow Toadsworth pitches. She'll smack it, though, straight to Blue Pianta, and that's a clean ground out to end the top of the second. Again, a low-scoring game is great news for the Monarchs. They need their pitchers to last, and their 2 stars, Toadsworth and Peach, don't exactly leave a lasting impression on the mound when they get there. Though, it looks like they're in a hot position as Peach hits a great slap out to left field to get a single. I'll bring up Star Blue Critter, who's watching these Reggie fastballs right down the middle. Can he get good contact? Swings. That one's high. The train is in position, and I think that will be a train-assisted home run. I think the train mattered. This is a great and quick outfield, and that wasn't exactly a zinger of a ball. It would have been close, but I'm pretty confident. Thanks to the train, the Monarchs now find themselves up on the Wilds 4-1. If the Monarchs score one more, they'll have scored the entire total production of the Wilds versus Flowers game. Narissa seems like she wants to go on exactly that path, hitting a clean single out to right field. So that'll bring Blue Shy Guy up now. Reggie is doing fine on the mound with his stamina, considering the hole that his team now enters. But Blue Shy Guy getting a single isn't going to help with morale. We'll put a runner on first and second for Blue Noki. Last at bat, of course, the Nokester hit a great slap, but maybe Reggie icing out the batter by trying to catch Narissa will catch Noki off guard. If Noki makes it without an out still for the Monarchs, I forgot to even mention it's the bottom of the second, but no! The shell interferes with Gray Shy Guy. Yet again, a clutch item play, stopping a triple play against the Monarchs. And again, they have a runner on first. Sorry, wait. No, it was clutch item play. No, it was for the Monarchs, wasn't it? I can't believe that I'm already forgetting. It's late. A good hit from Blue Pianta finds its way behind the train. There's no way for them to get it in time. Blue Shy Guy runs all the way home off that. And just like that, the Monarchs are up 5-1 in inning number 2 off of 2 different train-assisted hits to bring in a total of 3 runs for them just off that. Not to mention the additional potential that they got just from having the train hits in the first place. And that will see Reggie, starting pitcher for the Wild, start to tire. Figures, of course. No one could withstand this gauntlet for that long. And with Blue Toad hitting a slap, now the Wilds are entering a little bit of a friendlier position. Toadette Toadsworth Peach is not exactly the strongest batting core, and DK will step in to try to take advantage. First fastball, Toadette barely makes contact with it for a foul. Second fastball is a little bit better, but it just means that goes straight to Reggie for the 3rd out of the inning. Alright, Wilds fans. If you want something, you're going to want it now, as this is probably the best spot in their lineup to make a comeback, assuming that Tiny Kong can get on base. It's a bit of an ask, of course, but she's fine. She's fine. Slap, Blue Peon to catch, she's out. Okay. Back to the top of the order then, and Tato. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more luck than Tiny. Slow balls down the center to try to phase her out. Next pitch on the inside. She'll catch that minor curveball for a clean single. That brings up batter number 2 in the order, 3rd of the inning, Funky Kong. Shades at night, what a cool man, and he makes full contact with the ball and sends it to the wall. No train interference this time, though. Tato plays it safe and stays at second, which means we are just like inning number 1 in a situation where it's runner on first, runner on second, DK at the plate. The man cannot seal the deal, though, and a slow grounder from the star batter gets the Wilds from a great situation to the bottom of the 3rd. 0 outs in the top of the 3rd off that. Wilds will be starting right after their star slugger in the 4th. And trouble for the Kongs starts to arise. Toadsworth, for what it's worth, immediately grounds out. So a little bit more regression to the mean for him. Can Princess Toadstool find anything better herself? Yes, she will. Her 2nd successful slap of the evening nets her a single. That's good news for Blue Critter, if he can advance the runner, of course. And the star captain, DK, is a hard pitcher to do that off of. Early charge, contact, the POW block interferes with the double play, but will not let Peach reach second safely. So, with a runner on first and 2 outs, the Monarchs could face their first scoreless inning since the start of this game if Narissa isn't able to advance Blue Critter. She does just that, though, at least to start. The POW block interferes with Dixie, but Blue Critter won't run off it. So, runner on first, runner on second, up to the plate, Blue Shy Guy. And the Shy Guy's run of bad luck continues as the Monarchs are silenced. Blue Shy Guy getting caught out by Blue Critter at that shortstop position. Wait. Blue Shy Guy being caught out by Boomerang Bro at the shortstop position. Blue Critter running back to the dugout confused me. Baby DK continues to be a weirdly reliable hitter. After a weak Season 1, turning out pretty well in Season 2 so far, as he slaps and makes it to first. Reggie won't be much help, though, hitting into a quick double play to clear the bases for the Wilds. That's not great. Boomerang Bro has no runners on. Nothing to do but hit a line drive out to the wall. It'll be good for a single. And it'll be good to tire out Toadsworth, which is good news for the Monarchs. Or sorry, for the Wilds. If they can get through Toadsworth and then Peach behind him, that means that their scoring has a chance to really open up. Gray Shy Guy continues Shy Guy woes. Ending the inning, though, and the Wilds go scoreless for the 3rd inning in a row and stay 4 down. It means that there's plenty of potential for the Monarchs. Now in a mildly scary section of the batting order with Blue Pianta and Blue Toad to keep adding on. First, though, Blue Noki grounds out quickly to Boomerang Bro, not able to follow up the luck of her first couple hits. So, Blue Pianta now is the one to face down these DK fast balls. And a DK barrel ball, which Blue Pianta hits right into, and the captain quickly turns the out to get a reliable slugger off the field. That means that Blue Toad is next, and woes continue for the Monarchs as both of their consistent hitters fall short. It's a quick 3 up, 3 out. Well, woes is a strong word, I suppose, when you're up 4 runs. The Wilds are the team that need to respond, and they could get a chance, especially if Dixie and Tiny get on for the top of the batting order, who is basically Tato and Funky Kong have succeeded every single plate appearance so far. Can't be said for Dixie Kong, though, as she hits it right to Blue Critter. Well, not right to him, a diving catch for the first out of the inning. We'll be watching Tiny Kong's career with great interest. If she can get a single, that's huge for the Wilds. Any better is better. And a single she gets. Toadsworth continues to tire. And now we're back to the top of the order. Tato has not gone out yet. Can she capitalize off a tired star pitcher? Toadsworth continuing to test her with slow curveballs. Contact does go right to Blue Critter, who is able to turn the double play. Sigh of anxiety. Relief maybe for the Monarchs fans, anxiety for the Wilds as they continue scoreless for 4 innings in a row, and the Monarchs hold on to their lead. Now, they are the weakest section of the batting order. 7, 8, 9. Toadette, Toadsworth, Princess Toadstool. And it's trouble in... You have no idea how much I was trying to think of a Trouble in Terrorist Town thing that would make sense. But no, it's just trouble for Toadette as she's caught out by Boomerang Bro on her attempt. Though they... Oh wow, Boomerang Bro 2 in a row. Good fielding from the man. You can't say he's not a defensive superstar. Toadstool also quickly out. This time not to Boomerang Bro, it's a ground out to Gray Shy Guy. That means it's 3 out for the Monarchs yet again, and their early hotness is turning cool. If the Wilds can finish off Toadsworth and bring in Peach and get past her, they can definitely turn this around. The problem is, it's the top of the 6th. Time is running out. So Funky Kong needs to keep up his hits, which he will not. It's a big pop fly. Well, it's not pop fly that's trying to go out. It actually hits the wall. Shades of last week as Funky Kong gets a rare triple to bring himself to 3rd. That means all DK needs to do is hit it anywhere in the park except a fielder's glove. Contact, high, deep, fast, 2 home runs, and finally the Great Ape wakes up. That cuts the Monarchs lead in half. That brings home the runner. That snaps a cold streak for DK and puts the Wilds right back in this game. Now only up by 2. The Monarchs do swap to their captain, the ever-reliable Princess Peach, to try to rein in this offense. They do so pretty well. The power block doesn't come in time to save Baby DK's pop fly to center field. Reggie now, not fantastic so far this game, but if he can get on base, well, he'll have to do so through hard balls from Princess Peach. And no, Blue Critter makes the dive just in time to catch that grounder before it escapes to center field. That's out number 2. Familiar territory, I suppose, for Boomerang Bro, who has successfully reached base every single time. A big hit, of course, would be huge, and he wants it with a big charge that goes to right field, but Blue Noki is there in time, and right before they dive for the play, they silence the Wilds inning. Alright, Monarchs, you're back up to the top of your batting order. Your run has been cut to 2. You still need some production if you want to escape this game with the win. Blue Critter wants to be that production, but his first attempt will go foul. So, what can he do off pitch number 2? Well, again, another hit This one's another good line drive. The power block doesn't really mean much. It's a single either way for Blue Critter. So, Nerissa up now against DK. The name of the game for the Monarchs at this point is definitely to tire out DK as much as they can. Great Shy Guy, though, with the diving play to save that one. Absolutely magnetizes that ball in for the 2 outs that the Wilds need in this inning. DK wants to make it a third with a quick barrel pitch. Blue Shy Guy falls for the bait. And just like that, the inning comes to an end. The Monarchs haven't scored since the second, but it's been good enough so far. Can they hold on to this 2-run lead through 3 more innings? Well, Gray Shy Guy wants to say no to that, but he is Gray Shy Guy up against Toadstool. The slap continues the Shy Guy woes. Blue Pianta makes a diving catch for that one and marks the first out. I will never stop laughing at the bombs going off. The bombs going off will always be the highlight. Jesus Christ, the speed on those. You don't even know it's a curveball until the very end where it veers at like a 90-degree angle. I'm sorry, I've been distracted twice. Alright, close print on the curveball. Open print as Dixie Kong gets out. Close print on that. The bombs going off is very funny. Close print on that, and we're back to the action. Tiny Kong up against Toadstool. Weak contact that resulted in a rare field from the pitcher. That will mean that the Monarchs silence the Wilds' offense, and the Wilds are now down to their legendary quota. They need a run per inning to bring this game to overtime. That's if they hold the Monarchs, which they've been doing a pretty good job of doing since the early game. Blue Noki, though, showing signs of that early strength with a solid base hit. That's a single for the young shell. Blue Pianta and Blue Toad are scarily consistent slap batters, so this fastball from DK is less scary. First attempt is a simple strike, second attempt goes foul. That means we should see a slap from Blue Pianta here. We do. Well placed. That'll put a runner on first, a runner on second, because that's a good single. Alright, Blue Toad. Can you continue the magic and load the bases on 0 outs for the Monarchs? Doing so would put the Monarchs in a very scary position, and put the Wilds in a very scary position. And Blue Toad with that extra bit of speed does inch to first base just in time. Loaded bases, 0 outs, but it's a weak section of the Monarchs' batting order. A long turn here can quickly lead into a double or even triple play if it's hit to shortstop Boomerang Bro. Gray Shy Guy reels it in. It's a double play, but it does bring in 1. So, that means the lead is back up to 3 for Toadsworth with a runner on third. 1 single will be good for it. But DK says no. Barrel pitch, bait, accepted. That's a quick third out, and that's an end to the inning. Alright. The Wilds do recover from bases loaded, but they have to do so by letting in a run, and their deficit extends to 3 yet again. Funnily enough, the Monarchs have now eclipsed the total scoring of last Playday's legendary Wilds versus Flowers game. So, Tato, with the pressure on, hits it right to Blue Pianta for the first out of the inning. Funky Kong needs to find something here. But these fastballs from Toadstool, when you don't chase her off the mound, are quite scary to deal with. That one was straight down the middle until the last second. Cool under pressure is Funky Kong, though. Waiting for his moment, but his moment didn't come quite right. A pop fly out to right field is easily fielded by Blue Noki. And DK comes up with no one on the board for him. Weak contact leads to an easy grounder that's fielded by Blue Pianta, and now if the Wilds want this game back, they're going to have to score more. They're going to have to double their score in 1 inning right after their flagship batter grounds out for the 2nd time in the game. If the Monarchs are able to put on any more damage, of course, that's basically a death knell, but Toadstool, Princess Toadstool, caught out by Gray Shy Guy at second base for the first out is good news for any Wilds fan. Comeback is still possible, but it's scary. Especially with Peach still fresh on that mound when we get to the top of the ninth. It'll be a hard one, but in order to even get there, DK needs to find his way past Blue Critter. It's a high pop fly, but no train interference this time. Means that finally it's a buddy jump from the Wilds as Dixie and Tato reel that one in for the second out of the inning. So, now, batter number 3 for the Monarchs. It's gonna have to be Narissa. Can she find her way past DK? One strike, swing on the second. That is a good hit. The boo doesn't come in time to stop Dixie Kong fielding it, so it's just a single. It could have been a devastating double with the boo assistance, but no. Blue Shy Guy, though, breaks the Shy Guy woes and does get a good hit out to right field. Banana disturbance on Dixie Kong, well aimed. It doesn't mean much. Still means run on first, run on second. Blue Noki has hit clutch hits already this game, but can they do it in the bottom of the 8th? No. A ground ball sent over to first base. It's slow enough, actually, that second and third tagged up safely. The only one who could get out there was Blue Noki. So, despite placement, it's her own death warrant that she signed, and we're back to the Wilds. It's always possible. Baby DK into Reggie into Boomerang Bro is quite a respectable batting order, but no, Baby DK simply is a grounder that results in a quick first out for the inning. The Wilds now have less outs to play with and they need runs to score as Reggie, well, he looks happy under the pressure right now. Charging, though, he's watching these fastballs very carefully. Not carefully enough, though, as his weak contact simply leads to out number 2. Any bad hit now ends the game. Boomerang Bro has been very consistent so far, though. So, can they get on base? It's big contact, but a little bit too big. Whoa! Whoa, what was that? Okay, somehow, Blue Toad doesn't get that one. The Piranha Plant reaches over, snatches the ball, and saves the Wilds game for one more batter as Gray Shy Guy immediately knocks it to Blue Pianta, seals the game, and the Monarchs secure their win to now go up to a, I'm sorry, I was taking a screenshot at the worst possible time, a 4-5 record. Again, the only play for the Monarchs now with their run differential is basically to break out in the win-loss category. And it's a good start for them. They desperately need that one. Blue Critter earns MVP right. You love it when your star player gets MVP honors. And the Monarchs stay alive in this season. The Wilds are in trouble. They are actually tied now with the Monarchs in win-loss record, but with a much better run differential. So it means that both these teams remain in a bit of a hot seat situation. Actually, hell, if the Revenge win their game against the Scrambled Eggs, the hot seat could become a blazing inferno, but that's for probably next game. Let's get this up as I don't have a co-commentator. So, a very well-earned 3-6 victory. The Monarchs coach, again, correctly identifying, hey, the Wilds weren't really scoring on Yoshi Park. Let's take him back, which is unexpected considering the chaotic nature of the field. But no, it looks like Yoshi Park is now a place where offenses will go to die. Though the story of those offenses is quite interesting. We gotta highlight Captain DK having very quiet games back-to-back. He did hit one good 2-run homer in the middle of that one, bringing in 2 of the 3 Wilds runs. But, well, obviously, if the Wilds want to rely on DK for scoring, they're going to need a couple more hits out of him than that. 3-6. Actually, the second game in a row where the Wilds end with a 3-run scoreline. So, hiccup in their offensive production. Let's hope so for their sake. Otherwise, they're going to be in a very dangerous position as their win-loss dips back below 500. The Monarchs also breaking a big loss streak for them. That was actually if I'm doing my math right here, 4-game losing streak that they broke with that win over the Wild. So any Toadstool fans are happy today, as the Mushroom Kingdom's finest and also Shy Guy and also Narissa continue to try to stay relevant in this playoff picture. It's looking like the Monarchs can beat basically any team, but, well, it's a bit riskier for them as they need the game to stay low scoring. They haven't been able to keep up when teams get hard slugging, as their production has been, well, relatively low. But if it's a low scoring game, then favor swings aggressively back towards the Monarchs, as if you're not able to get Toadsworth and Peach off the mound, they are scary, scary pitchers, as evidenced from their ability to totally shut down the Wilds tonight. Well, we'll see what comes for both these teams next, as our second game of the evening will be the Scrambled Eggs versus the Revenge. As a reminder, coming into this Playday, the Scrambled Eggs last game was the 5th team versus the 7th team. Shifted down one. Today, we're seeing the Scrambled Eggs and the Revenge, the 6th team versus the 8th team. With the Monarchs win, if the Scrambled Eggs lose this game, they will somehow... Actually, if the Scrambled Eggs lose this game by less than 6, they will have the rather extremely odd honor of sitting in 7th in the league with a positive run differential, which is as absurd as it is kind of funny. So, they want this win to have a even win-loss record with the Wilds and the Monarchs, which would shoot them up to at least 5th, possibly beyond if the Infernos fall tonight. But in order to do so, they need to beat the Revenge. Now, the Revenge are the only team with 1 win on the scoreboard. They're the only team who are separated from the rest of the league by 2 wins. There's 6 Playdays left. If the Revenge win all of them, they'll get a 500 win-loss record. That would have to be, well, the storyline of the season, and they'll need to start it off tonight against the Scrambled Eggs. The Scrambled Eggs did go very hot last Playday. PD Purana and King Boo both coming up big after the Scrambled Eggs did swap up their batting rotation and put those players in slightly more favorable positions. However, the Revenge have home field advantage now, and they've chosen to take us to Bowser's Castle. It's a big field with minimal outfield disruption, which definitely favors more defensive playstyles like the Revenge. Big sluggers like King Boo and PD Piranha might have more trouble, or will they hit line drives to the wall and test the relatively slow outfield of the Revenge? We'll have to see as we verify that these rosters are all set to play. Everything's looking good on our end. So, it comes down to this. The Revenge and the Scrambled Eggs in Game 2 of Playday number 9. If the Scrambled Eggs win, they have the potential, pending future games tonight, shoot all the way up to 4th place. If they lose, they fall to 7th, where they will stay 1 win ahead of the Revenge, who need to kick off their Revenge tour right now. Everything's looking good on the field, so I believe that we're all set to play, and we'll start off game number 2 of Playday number 9 after I remember to do a very quick chore. Wait, I'll be right back. I almost forgot to do something. This doesn't relate to baseball at all. I just really need to handle something real quick. Okay. The Scrambled Eggs versus the Revenge. Both these teams need this win. Who gets it? Well, we'll find out right now. Okay. My apologies, but I will admit right now that I'm a very biased caster right in this game. I love a competitive league, and so I want the Revenge to get their PD Piranha. No, okay, it's not out of the park, not at the start of this game, and it's a good demonstration of how much harder it will be to get those big hits on such a big stadium. As the Star Slugger for the Scrambled Eggs is quieted. Blooper also quickly caught out by Diddy Kong, so that's a good defensive start for the Revenge as their relatively fresh trade. Green Magic Koopa starts off pitching for them today. Wiggler doesn't want to go for the consistent slap hit, instead tries a charge that just ends up with the Scrambled Eggs starting this game. 3 up, 3 out. Gotta imagine though. I mean, that would have been very funny. If tragic. As a reminder, the Revenge... Wow, what a snipe from Brown Critter. Directly on the line, all the way to the wall. It's only a single for the hitter, but very well aimed. Still, the Revenge have been cursed this season. As Nero hits into a double play, it has not been the quality of their play that keeps them at the bottom of the scoreboard. It's been stuff like the fact that they lost last Playday due to a bobbled 3-run homer and then lost by 3 runs. So, it'll be a lot harder for that type of play, but they'll still need offensive production as they do also go 3 runners, 3 outs. They at least got a base hit in the middle of that. But the pressure's definitely on them to start producing. King Boo now up against Green Magic Koopa. Another big, deep hitter for the Scrambled Eggs, who's going to learn the hard way about Bowser's Castle. Actually, I wonder if those fireballs affect the flying characters like Paragoomba and Paratroopa. Because if it doesn't, that's another reason why this is a great stadium for the Revenge. Cookie, though, caught out on a grounder. So that will be the second out against the Scrambled Eggs in the top of the second. And it looks like we might be entering a little bit of a speedrun in Grand Slam Galaxy. A speedrun that Yellow Yoshi looks fit to try to ruin with a hit out to left field for the first single for the Scrambled Eggs. Can Bouncer advance the runner? Well, I'll try to, but I'll have to do so off a deep slider from Green Magic Koopa. And he does just that. It's a good single to put runners on the corners. Pressure falls on the captain. Yoshi, can he bring the runner home on 2 outs? Or will the Scrambled Eggs fall short in the top of the second? It's a POW block item. That's good, but it doesn't matter. The hit is landing safely in center field. And it is the Scrambled Eggs who score first blood. A good, well-aimed shot from one Yoshi brings another to the home plate to put them up by 1. Green Magic Koopa, of course, as a Magic Koopa, will start to tie up very early. And showing wear and tear already. Staying on the pitcher's mound now, versus... The last thing you want to see as a Revenge fan here is a single from... And you won't. You will! Banana Interference actually brings all 3 runners safely to their bases, and PD Piranha's up against a tired Green Magic Koopa with loaded bases. It's a deep charge hit, line drive to left field. No ish. Okay. The Fireball Interference also doesn't help. Was caught trying to run home. It's a close play, and off of that, the Scrambled Eggs successfully bring in 3 after a miraculous banana play again tonight to put them up 4-0. I don't know what gods the Revenge angered, but they just cannot seem to catch a break tonight. Alright, Green Magic Koopa swapped off for Diddy Kong relatively early. Captain does need to silence this scoring quickly. If he can just get Blooper out, well, the Revenge will fall to a 4-0 deficit, which is definitely a problem, but is still very doable. But he'll need to slide it past Blooper. He's trying with 3 star pitches and does secure the strike. I did not know that was Blooper's strikeout animation. That might be the best strikeout animation in the game. I'm happy Blooper striked out only so I could see that. So, the Revenge now down 4-0, and Hammerbro needs to come up huge for his team to start the scoring. Contact is good. It barely evades Cookie, but she throws it smartly to first in an extremely excessively rare move for a right fielder, barely getting out the runner, and Hammerbro falls just a little short. Green Magic Koopa steps up for the team though and hits a solid single to get on first. So there is some offense in the bottom of the second for the Revenge, especially as Mr. Wick barely evades a catch from Wiggler. Unfortunately, it was too close. Green Magic Koopa thought that was caught and started running back to first, only to get caught out at second. Green Drybone slap, which would have loaded the bases therefore, only ends up with a run on first and second. So, Peridot the Paratroopa needs to try to bring in Wick from second off of blazing hot Scrambled Eggs defense. The contact isn't great, the Bomb-Bomb isn't there in time, and Captain Yoshi simply throws to first for out number 3. So, the Revenge are now down 4 runs heading into the 3rd inning. Diddy Kong needs to stay on this mound for as long as possible, but Wiggler definitely doesn't want that to happen. Mr. Consistency coming back to the game to get a good single for King Boo. That Bowser statue in the back breathes danger. Ollie caught in the fire means that Neru needs to come in to field it. And that means that we have runners on the corners as Cookie comes up. This needs to be a big one for the Revenge, and it will be just good enough. Hammerbro comes in, brings that ball in just in time to catch out King Boo at first. And now Yellow Yoshi. They are the starred batter, so they could bring in Wiggler from third, but the Revenge need to keep the Caterpillar stranded. Slap from Yellow Yoshi does touch the pavement safely, and a little bit of a boo adds just some extra power to it. Yellow Yoshi's running all the way to third. Running all the way home? No. Okay, it's a triple for the 2nd game in a row, as Yellow Yoshi safely reaches third and brings up Bouncer. Diddy Kong just now needs to get out of the inning, and he will as Hammerbro brings in out number 3. But the Scrambled Eggs extend their lead to 5. That means that the Revenge have quite the hole to dig themselves out of, as King Boo comes up against Ollie the Paragoomba. Ollie is definitely the more consistent of the 2 winged outfielders, but she's not able to find success here. A quick ground out to Wiggler to start off the inning. So, that brings up Brown Critter and the start of the Revenge's batting order. Brown Critter also tests Bowser's Castle by going deep, but that's a quick buddy jump from Cookie and Yellow Yoshi to reel that one in and stop the hero play. 2 outs now against the Revenge, and they need to come up with something here, heading out of the bottom of the third. Neru, Diddy Kong up next. If she and Diddy Kong can get on base and set up Hammer Bro, that's huge for this team. Neru succeeds. A good hit out to the wall. She's going for second. Smart play is well rewarded. That's a double. And with King Boo starting to tire, that's also good news for the Revenge. Perhaps digging into the Scrambled Eggs pitching rotation will be good enough, but no, for the second time this game, Diddy Kong is not able to get on base. And yet again, the Revenge are held scoreless. They're starting next inning with Hammer Bro, who will only be batting for the second time this game. That's not great news for their offensive production possibilities. Meanwhile, Captain Yoshi continues a weirdly strong offensive game with a solid single out to left field that tires Diddy Kong out early. That's a very dangerous position to be in for the Revenge. That's an excessively dangerous position to be in for the Revenge, as they tend to bring in their outfielders to patch up holes. Hammer Bro does turn the double play that they need to, but Diddy Kong is subbed out and Mr. Wick is brought in, which is about as good as you can hope for a tertiary pitcher. Petey Piranha gets weak contact, at least to out number 3. So, with a jersey on the mound, can the Revenge bring this back? If they want to, they'll have to do it against a fresh Captain Yoshi as he comes in to start the inning for the Scrambled Eggs. Hammer Bro wants to remind his team that it's there in this game with a big deep hit out to the outfield. It barely escapes Yellow Yoshi and Bouncer? Yeah, Bouncer. Leading to the Revenge's first point of the game. If they can set up a situation where it's Hammer Bro on the plate and some runners on, the Revenge could quickly find themselves back in this. But can they do that? Well, the Scrambled Eggs defense so far is saying no way. Though it should be noted that King Boo was their strongest pitcher by the numbers. And now that they've been retired, maybe the Revenge can find their way back into this game offensively. Mr. Wick seems to think so with a single. Green Drybone's up next. An excellent slap hitter. Does his job beautifully with one up the middle. So that'll put a run on first, a run on second with 1 out. Peridot, though, struggles to get out of the infield. Can she do so against Captain Yoshi? Well, it's well aimed, and it's no dive from Petey Piranha and a pow block and bomb. Sorry, what? Wait, what stunned the Yoshi first? It was a pow block from the field, and then King Bomb dropped a Bomb on Yoshi, giving the extra stun to bring in the second run for the Revenge this game. You'll have to excuse my confusion. I was like, they fired the Bomb. Wait a minute. Ollie caught out. Fact catches her and Peridot out on a double play, but the Revenge score their first 2 for the inning. They're back to the top of the order, and they're set up to do some damage in the bottom of the 5th. First, they have to get there, though, and Mr. Wick will have to deliver the dagger to the Scrambled Eggs offense. That's what they want. Magic Koopa on shortstop makes quick work of Blooper's attempt to escape to the outfield. Stand proud. They were strong. Now Mr. Consistency steps up. Hard to catch the Wiggler's hits as they are a little bit too high, but that one's too high and too far as Neru fields it in left field. 2 outs now. No runners on for King Boo. A deep hit would be fine here as there's still outfield chemistry. But the line drive is caught by Ollie, and it's 3 up, 3 out. The Revenge could get back into this game this inning if Brown Critter, Neru, and Diddy Kong all do their job and set up a huge hit from Hammerbow. But that's a tall order to follow through on. Can they do it? Brown Critter seems to want to do so. Watches 1 strike, hits 1 foul. So with 2 strikes on the board, pitch number 3 is a slap. That's a clean single from the clock. That's a good start to the Revenge inning. Neru now needs to find hit number 2. She needs to avoid this infield, and she can't. Puridi Purana snags it out of the air, but crucially is way too out of position to turn the double play. It's a good catch, but it's only 1 out, and it will bring up Captain Diddy Kong, who is yet to touch a base today. Can Diddy Kong get on base? A charge hit is his, honestly, probably most consistent way to do so. It goes out to left field. It's going out of the park. Nope, it's bouncing against the wall. There is fire interference. But it's good for Diddy Kong to get on base, and now Hammerbow has 2 runners on. First hit barely evades first baseman for a devastating double play. Second pitch is simply a slap. It won't be a game-time triple homer. It'll be loaded bases and 1 out. Green Magic Koopa is not a consistent batter, but when they hit, they hit. Their first attempt will go foul, though. The Revenge need a big hit from Green Magic Koopa, and Green Magic Koopa wants to provide to the wall in the back. Extra boo interference won't really matter, actually, as it simply bounces right into Bounce's glove. But it's good enough to bring in the 3rd run of the inning. Okay, 5-3 scoreline for the Revenge. Mr. Wick, you came in as the pitcher. Can you come in as a clutch batter? He will do so with an excellent hit right up the middle to keep bases loaded and 1 out on the scoreboard. The Revenge shave their deficit down to 1 run as Captain Diddy Kong successfully touches home. And with Yoshi starting to tire, that's a worry. Green Drybones with loaded bases seems to want to go for a charge hit. No. 2 strikes means we should see a slap from the dead man. That's a strikeout. You gotta be worried. When you see that batter not move and the pitcher go to the outside, that's a scary position to be in. Peridot, though, will be the 3rd out of the inning as she hits it to Puridi Purana, and the Scrambled Eggs maintain a lead, but the lead has shrunk to 1 as the Revenge put up deuces in double innings to bring them to a 5-4 scoreline. So, Mr. Wick needs to stay on this mound in order for the Revenge to stay in this game. He's done a pretty great job so far and continues to do so, with Cookie being caught out by Hammerbow at second base. Yellow Yoshi, weirdly consistent hitter with that extra star power allotted to him from the Scrambled Eggs, but it's not good this time. Again, a hit to Hammerbow, this time fielded to first for the 2nd out. So it'll be up to Bouncer to avoid 3 up, 3 out for the Scrambled Eggs if he can find a safe way for this ball to go. It's a foul, though, on that attempt. So the next pitch, slapped. This time it's not to Hammerbow, it's to Magic Koopa. 3 up, 3 out. Keeps the Scrambled Eggs at a lead of 1. They'll have 3 chances left on the board. The Revenge, however, go into their 4th to last. Then a little bit of an awkward spot in the batting position. Batter number 9, Ollie, is up. Of course, if she can get on base, it's huge. Will she get on base? It's good. Wiggler misses a dive, and Ollie gets on to first. As Yoshi continues to tire, it's nothing but good news for the Revenge this time, as Brown Critter steps up to the plate. Facing down Yoshi, who's gonna have to try to force weak contact, but Brown Critter remains consistent. This time it's too good, though. Yellow Yoshi and Cookie make the play in the outfield to catch that one and snag the Croc's ball. That'll be the first out of the inning. And it's not great. That means that if the next two batters, as long as they don't hit into a double play and they don't both get out, we will see Hammer Bro this inning. If they don't, kind of Naru just hits into a double play so Diddy Kong can get on base in the bottom of the 7th. The worst thing that could happen here is a Naru double play. She'll avoid that with a big pop to about the same place Critter did. But yet again, Cookie and Yellow Yoshi simply field that to bring us to out number 2. So, responsibility is falling to Captain Diddy Kong. He just needs to get on base to set up another possible big play for the Revenge to bring them back in this game. They've scored 2 runs the last 2 innings. Can they score 3 this one? Well, it's all up to Captain Diddy Kong. Assuming, of course, Hammer Bro produces, but Hammer Bro be Hammer Bro. Inside pitch. Diddy Kong charges. It doesn't find its way out of the infield, though, and that is simply a ground out to end the inning. The Revenge will stay down 1 as we enter the last third of this game. And it's a scary selection of Scrambled Eggs batters. Yoshi, and Petey Piranha. Yoshi hits a big fly out to left field, but the fielders are there with plenty of time. No worries from Ollie on that pow block. Floaters can't get hit by that. Well, except directly. And again, ever since John Wick has come up, the Scrambled Eggs have gone cold. Continues that trend with a ground out to second baseman Hammer Bro. Petey Piranha has not done well so far in the batting box this game. The field working against him. It's another deep hit out to right field. Ollie and Peridot make the play, stopping the hero home run attempt and securing 3 up, 3 out yet again against the Scrambled Eggs. But the story is not over for the Revenge. If Hammer Bro doesn't produce, we will see Hammer Bro at least 2 more times in this game unless the Revenge 3 up, 3 out the last 3 innings, which would be surprising. So Hammer Bro will have 2 more opportunities. This one is a big... Listen, it's rising. It's falling. That's close. It's a catch. Cookie and Yellow Yoshi combine to snag that one, and it's not going to be a second big hit from Hammer Bro. No, this one is fielded to stop it. It'll have to be small ball play to bring the Revenge back. They only need 1 in the last 3 innings. So, Green Magic Koopa, who's been pretty solid so far in the batting box this game, against a continuing to tire Yoshi. Line drive is going to be too far, though. Yellow Yoshi in outfield fields that one easily. And it's Mr. Wick against Yoshi. First ball will simply be a strike. Second pitch from the dinosaur. Mr. Wick makes great contact. We will see Hammer Bro in this game again, as Mr. Wick successfully tags up on first base. Green Dry Bones, after a disastrous strikeout last plate appearance, has to try to find contact this time. It's a slap hit, and a bobble from Yellow Yoshi that's going to allow Mr. Wick to touch up on third. So now with 2 runners in scoring position, a bobble stole the game from the Revenge last game. Can they take advantage this game? Peridot tries, but maybe tries a bit too hard. It's a little deep, and Yellow Yoshi and Cookie are there to catch it. The bobble is not enough. The Revenge are quieted, but they do get 1 more batter deep into their lineup. Maybe that will play a role later in this game. For now, the Scrambled Eggs barely get out of that tight spot and maintain their 1-run lead. They also have a very scary section of their batting order up, as it's Blooper, Wiggler, King, Boo. Blooper, though, not able to find much, as a bad chem for Brown Critter and Diddy Kong almost leads to disaster, but no. Diddy Kong manages to tag up, and it's the first out. So, Mr. Consistency versus the Hitman. The Boogeyman, excuse me. Wiggler delivers, as you can expect them to, and I don't think it's the first time in this game, but For a rarity in this game, King Boo comes up with a runner on. The hit is just a little bit too weak though. It's an easy field from Ollie in center field to put the scrambled eggs at 2 outs. Cookie's attempt is a good line drive out to left field. That would have been terrifying if it escaped near his grasp. That might have let Wiggler run all the way home with the pow block. But no, she manages to snag it, and the scrambled eggs are kept quiet yet again. So, for the revenge, you have 2 opportunities left to score 1 run. And that's a great start with Ollie getting a single. 2 opportunities for 1 run. Yoshi continues to stay on the pitcher's mound. Brown Critter needs to not try to be a hero and hit a home run here, or he needs to be a real big hero and hit a home run. Do not try, do, or go home. Contact, attempting to be a hero yet again. This one will stay inside the park though, meaning it should be an easy field from Yellow Yoshi. That's out number 1. Danger for the revenge to end up in another situation where Hammerbow comes up to start off an inning. That would be the 9th. It won't be that. Nero hits it to Wiggler. The double play ends the inning. So the revenge will be starting next inning with Diddy Kong Hammerbow. And will have one last opportunity to score the 1 run they need to get this game. Mr. Wick, can you pitch it home? After a weak start, well, it's weak contact from Yellow Yoshi for the first out against the Scrambled Eggs, who have been barely hanging on to this 1-run lead now for 5 innings. Can they extend it in the top of the 9th? Bouncer says maybe someone else can do it, as Hammerbow snags that one to successfully bring in out number 2. Captain Yoshi up against Mr. Wick. 2 outs, and Hammerbow is responsible for out number 3 to bring the Revenge back to the plate. The bottom of the 9th. The Revenge have been tailing by 1 for the last, 4 innings. Diddy Kong needs to get on base so badly right now, it hurts. Diddy Kong versus Yoshi, captain versus captain, and the slap can't evade Petey Piranha. That's out number 1, and that could be the death knell if Hammerbro is kept quiet at their at-bat. Hammerbro versus Yoshi. The traded player hits it big, hits it deep, evades the outfield, and we have a tie game. If Diddy Kong had gotten on base, it would have been a walk-off, but no. Yoshi keeps the captain off, and the Revenge will have to settle for extra innings. In kind of a scary position, if they get 2 outs now, Hammerbow probably won't come up in extra innings. They will have to score their winning run off of small ball. And the Scrambled Eggs, conversely, I think are in a relatively good spot in their batting order. They're at least closer to a slugger. But Green Magic Koopa doesn't want to go to extra innings. Green Magic Koopa with a good hit out to... Oh, wait, are they too slow to reach second? No. Green Magic Koopa does reach scoring position on second base. Can Mr. Wick, the pitching hero of this game, bring Green Magic Koopa home and make this bottom section of the leaderboard absolutely terrifying? No. But Green Magic Koopa, what are you doing? After a terrifying base running position, somehow Green Magic Koopa tags up safely. So we have a runner on first, runner on second. Green Drybones does hit a good single, so it's loaded bases, 1 out. If Peridot can bring Green Mash home from third base, that will be the end of the game. Peridot, can you end this? You just need a single, but no! Petey Piranha catches it and throws it to third to save the Scrambled Eggs, and we're going to extra innings. The Revenge are cursed. They're cursed. They had a stellar preseason, and the baseball gods looked down upon them and said, "You're doomed." But it's not over yet for them. They did make it pretty far through the batting order, so Hammerbro might come up next inning, or at the bottom of this inning. Assuming that Petey Piranha doesn't hit it big here, no. The attempt will fall just inside the park, and Petey Piranha's hero play is caught out for the second out. Will the Scrambled Eggs go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 10th? Mr. Wick, who has been a hero on the mound, sees them through. Blooper's ball is caught out by Brown Critter almost nonchalantly. And it's now up to the Revenge. They are in a pretty good spot in the batting order, actually. Ollie, and then the top of the order. So, Ollie, you've gotten on base when you've started the inning twice. Can you get on base again? It bounced off the pitcher's mound, and Wiggler isn't able to get their glove on it again, leading to a single. Okay, Brown Critter has gone for hero plays repeatedly in this position, but no, a line drive will be caught out by Yellow Yoshi. So yet again, Brown Critter just isn't able to produce in that situation and leads to out number 1. Neru, Diddy Kong, Hammerbro. Neru's attempt caught out by Petey Piranha, who throws it to first and gets out number 3. We're heading to inning number 11 of a 5-5 tied game. The Scrambled Eggs, this might be their last opportunity for a while for a good clean score, as Wiggler and King Boo are a terrifying combination. Can Wiggler find his way past the Boogeyman? Charge hit goes high. It's too high. Peridot and Ollie are in position to snag that one for out number 1. King Boo, who has been a hero in so many games, and the top of the 11th, there's only one out against his team, but he needs this base hit. He'll get more than a base hit. It's perfectly aimed, and King Boo gets a solo shot homer in the top of the 11th to bring the Scrambled Eggs into the lead. Finally, the angle is found, and the dead man touches home plate, or rather floats over it. There's still baseball left to play. Mr. Wick needs to find his way past Cookie, who he does. That's out number 2. And now Yellow Yoshi, the center fielder, versus John Wick. Charging. It's a good line drive out to left field. Neru is hit with fire interference, but Yellow Yoshi doesn't run for second. That means they do have a runner on, and Bouncer does have a lot of potential to extend this lead for the Scrambled Eggs if he can find the hit. Charge hit to center field. It looks pretty good. It's only a single, though, but every batter that adds on just adds more weight to the woes of the Revenge. Yoshi with a chance to potentially all but ice this game for his team. No. Green Maj feels that one. And the Revenge are in a familiar spot. They're down 1. Previously, it took them 5 innings to dig their way out of that hole. They'll only get 1 shot at it, but they're in possibly the best spot of their lineup to do it. Diddy Kong, you needed to get on base for the last Hammerbro home run. Can you get on base for a potential one in the bottom of the 11th? Yes. I'm gonna basically lay it all down. It comes down to this. If Hammerbro can get a walk-off homer, the Revenge can get their second win of the season. That looks good. That's deep. That's big. There's fire interference, and it's a walk-off 2-run homer. Diddy Kong, on I think the 3rd opportunity, gets on base for a Hammerbro homer, and in 11 innings, the Revenge, in a nail-biter of a game, secure their second win of their season, and the possibility of a 500-win record stays alive for them. Oh, it's too late for action this terrifying. This is too terrifying. MVP honors, there's only one person it can fall to, of course. Hammerbro with big home runs this game. I'm gonna, when I put this in the result screen, I'm just gonna write, if you watch one game this season, watch this one. As the Revenge secure their win right when they need it. This team is on do or die for the rest of the season. And the league stays terrifyingly competitive. They do stay in 8th in the standings, but 2-7 is a lot more comfy than 1-8. Credit, of course, to the Scrambled Eggs. King Boo tried the heroics in the top of the 11th to bring this team home, but just couldn't do it by that one solo shot bomb. Petey Piranha also being a scary batter that whole time, at least testing the outfield. But despite, it's low scores across the board, but it was just a defensive game. It was a very good performance across the board from both teams to make this as tight as it possibly can. Hammerbro shows up for an MVP caliber performance, which, well, his new team desperately needs out of him. And yeah, I mean, finally, in the bottom of the 11th, the Revenge managed to come off of a monster Hammerbro performance. I just saw the number, 240, my god, to secure their second win. That could not have been closer. That was terrifying, and my heart palpitations have ceased. And now I feel comfortable mentioning the fact that a home team has not lost a game since Playday 6. Throughout all of Playday 7, throughout all of Playday 8, and now through the first 2 games of Playday 9, the home team has won every single time. Which is weird, because previously I'm pretty confident it was actually the away team that was favored purely by the math, but now it's a little bit of a different story. As the home team secures another one, the Revenge secure their second win of the season, and these scorelines are looking terrifying. So, with that, as a quick reminder, the bottom of the scoreboards right now, the Wilds and the Monarchs both stand at 4 and 5, the Scrambled Eggs stand at 3 and 5, and the Revenge stand at 2 and 7. Anyone can quickly fall back to the bottom of the scoreboard, including our next team up, the Infernos, who coming into this Playday stand at a 4-4 record. But if they want to maintain that, they'll have to do it against second place in the league. They're going to have to do it against the Rotten Eggs. The Infernos have been looking pretty great as a small ball team, which is an oddity in Grand Slam Galaxy, ever since Mario joined this team a couple of games ago. He's not only brought the pitching consistency they need, but acted as a marvelous hitter in that third string batting position. The Infernos have looked pretty good at small ball. Unfortunately for them, or actually fortunately for them, the Rotten Eggs have chosen to take them to a park where small ball can very easily be the name of the game, DK Jungle at night, which is still, funnily enough to me, probably the only field where the nighttime field is less disruptive than the daytime field. Regardless, the Infernos are playing with a pretty good shot here. Meanwhile, for the Rotten Eggs, they have never been to DK Jungle this season. Still not changing up their roster ever since picking up Firebro actually from the Infernos. I believe this will be the first time the man plays against his team, and I guess I might as well bring it up. It's also the first time Mario will play against what used to be the triple captain team of the Rotten Eggs. Both teams benefited tremendously from the trade. Firebro bringing in a little bit more batting power, whereas Mario brought in a lot more defensive capability and upped the batting power of the Infernos a little bit. Nothing else to mention. There was a mild Ron Eggs batting change, as Firebro actually now sits in the back of the lineup, which makes for a very, very weird batting order, where now the strongest three in the... The Ron Eggs should really swap this, so their 6, 7, 8, 9 is their 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess they'll do that next game. Regardless, the second half of the batting lineup is the terrifying section of the lineup for the Ron Eggs, but their first half is nothing to sneeze at, with Birdo and Wario always able to put up numbers, Yellow Toad being a very consistent hitter, and Yellow, Shy Guy, and Statler are also there. We'll see who comes up on top. If the Bows can win this game, they will stay in the top 2 and possibly bring their way up to number 1. If the Infernos lose this game, I believe by the numbers they should stay in 4th. They should stay in 4th. If they win, they will be in a very secure 4th place. But their security kind of depends on the outcome of this game. Meanwhile, the Ron Eggs have a lot riding on it. We'll head right into the game now, as the Infernos take on the Rotten Eggs in DK Jungle at night. Okay, to start this game off, again, a very impactful game for the Ron Eggs, less so for the Infernos in the immediate standings, but every win will count, especially with the bottom of the league looking so terrifyingly competitive right now. Shy Guy will start off well for the Infernos, though. A good single, and Captain Dante not able to avoid the outfield this time, sending it back. If the Infernos can win, it'll be the first time an away team has won since Playday number 6, which is still a wild stat, as Mario hits it right to Firebro, who secures the double play to end the inning. No quick damage from the Infernos, and from the Ron Eggs we don't expect much, as this is definitely the weaker section of their batting order. Yellow Toad faces down Boo. A consistent hitter, the Toad is, and will not show up. It was a good slap, but just a little bit too good, as Red Noki catches it out in center field. That brings up Captain Birdo. What can she do against the dead man? Well, with a big charge, she'll watch 2 simple curveballs. Pitch number 3 will be where she has to swing, and that slap does make contact with the grass, letting a single from the captain. Allowing a single for the captain. So, Yellow Shy Guy. We saw a lot of Shy Guy woes earlier today. Can he avoid the infield? Well, he certainly can if he doesn't make contact with the ball. On the second attempt, though, the strike will land fair. Too fair. Red Noki catches that one. So, technically, I suppose, the Ron Eggs have made it further in their batting lineup than the Infernos did, which is something, but can they get anything else besides that off of Wario's bat? The ball barely touches the grass, but it doesn't matter, as since Otis manages to reel it in, she simply turns the out at second instead, and both teams go scoreless in the first. So, we will see Strawberry stepping up to the plate. Wonderful hitter, as all the Piantas tend to be. But can they evade the infield this time? No. Firebro snags that one and reels in out number 1 of the second. That'll bring up Red Noki, who has been, decent, but not good enough this time. Birdo pops up, catches that one for out number 2. So former Captain Waluigi will be brought up. And let's talk about strategies here for these teams. I think that the only real home run hitter that's possible for the Infernos, realistically, anyone can hit a home run in Grand Slam Galaxy, except Waluigi, as he did get out there. But their most consistent home run threat is probably Mario, who's in a good spot with 2 solid slap hitters in front of him. Meanwhile, the Ron Eggs have two big home run hitters, but stuck at the back of their lineup. They do have very good support in front of them, Salamander and Firebro, but they need to get there. Statler hitting a single will start off pretty well, but he runs on a base throwing error. Tags up safely back on first, but that was a weird running move, perhaps thinking that the ball was going to escape the infield, and then it didn't. So YP steps up to try to advance the runner. Well, if they slap, it's pretty likely. If it's a charge hit like that, less so. It's a slap hit. Center field means we have a runner on first, runner on second for the most dangerous section of the Ron Eggs lineup. And what I was trying to talk about earlier was how dangerous the 7-8-9 from the Ron Eggs is. Red Critter into Thermite, who's fine, into Firebro. Two deadly hitters, and also Thermite is there. As shown by Salamander, who drills one out deep to left, but Captain Dante is there to make the catch. Although, that's only out number one for the Infernos. They need to find either a double play or find their way past Firebro with two on later this inning. So, the question is, can Thermite evade the infield? Thermite just needs to evade the infield. A strikeout is fine. A pop-out is fine. Fly-out is fine. And a single is the best that the Ron Eggs could have hoped for. That now leads to loaded bases against the Infernos for Firebro. Well, is there smoldering tensions after being traded away from the Infernos? Firebro says not really, as he'll settle for a slap hit. And that will lead to the Ron Eggs lead, but it'll still lead to a bit of a sigh of relief from any Infernos fans, as a dangerous home run grand slam opportunity simply leads to a 1-run lead for the Ron Eggs. Now we're back to the top of the Ron Eggs batting order. Yellow Toad is still a consistent hitter and will still hit a good single, actually. Thermite is heading home, so that will be 2 RBIs off that single, and the Ron Eggs will boost themselves up to a 3-run lead. Now, that's funny enough, I was trying to talk about how the Ron Eggs have more potential as a home run team, but they seem content to sell for small ball for right now. Good enough small ball to chase Boo off the mound at least and bring in former captain Waluigi. A spitball immediately against rival captain Birdo will lead to a foul, but there's only 1 out on the board and there's 2 runners on. Birdo has all the rights to swing for the fences here, and a great hit out to right field will bring in another run. Firebro touches home plate, and it's now a 4-run lead for the Rotten Eggs. This is still a very dangerous position. There's only 1 out for the Infernos, and they might have a more consistent pitching staff with Mario on, but they still need to silence this Ron Eggs offense. Finally, Otis will catch an attempt by Yellow Shy Guy to sneak out to left field, but she's not in position to try to turn the double play. So that'll bring up Wario. 2 outs now for the Onion Breath batter. First pitch is a simple strike from Waluigi, and a spitball will try to find its way past Wario. It will. That's 2 strikes now. Alright, 2 strikes, 2 outs, slider, contact. It's a big pop fly. The green shell shouldn't come out in time, and doesn't. Neither does that fire barrel that seemed that like it just really wanted to ruin Red Noki's day. Regardless, 2 close calls comes to a 3rd out, and the damage is finished. It's pretty good damage though. The Ron Eggs stand at a 4-run lead. That means that the Infernos will have to turn to their small ball ways if they want to get back into this game. And Drybones starts off the assault. That's a clean single to get on base. Otis will have to follow it up with a base hit of her own, but no, her ball goes straight to Birdo, who simply turns the double play and clears the Inferno's bases. Small chances of a rally this inning, though if anyone could start one, maybe it's Boo. No, Firebro catches that one for the 3rd out, and we're simply heading to the bottom of the 3rd. An away team has not won since Playday number 6. I'm going to count. So, hang on. Statler does slap a single. Um, YP hits it foul. Okay, so yeah, going out of Playday 6, you were actually slightly more likely to win as the away team, at least in the regular season, because at that point, there were 13 away team wins and 11 home game wins, so it was slightly more than 500 for the away team. Since then, there's not been an away team win. Salamander does swing for the fences. It's almost a sack fly, but Statler tries to, or it's almost a fly that lets Statler advance to second, but he chooses to stay on Christ, on a bike. I'm sorry. I did math and then my brain shut down. Thermite does hit a single to load the bases for the Ron eggs, and in an event that I wasn't looking at because I was curious about stats, the Ron eggs are back up to loaded bases for Firebro, now against a tired Waluigi. This is where the damage started last time. It won't be this time though, as Firebro simply grounds out. Bases remain loaded as it's only a single out. But Yellow Toad needs to find out a hit here. The only thing he'll find is Shy Guy's glove. The Infernos get their way out of that lit fire and successfully shut down the Ron eggs in a very dangerous position. That's the second time now where loaded bases have come up for Firebro though, and you can only dodge so many bullets before one of them hits. Shy Guy, first batter for the Infernos, is caught out by Firebro at second base. They need to start a small ball game. Pending that, they could always try to set up for a Mario home run, but Birdo reels one in from outer space as she snags Dante's ball. Captain on captain violence leads to empty bases for the plumber. So, Mario, well, he wasn't hitting a home run anyway. He grounds out to Birdo and is 3 up, 3 out for the Infernos. They're quiet through 4. There's still a lot of baseball left to play. There's still very reasonable to score 4 throughout the rest of this game, but they need to do so while keeping the Ron eggs quiet. And if Captain Birdo can do one thing, well, it's suck in balls. But the second thing is try to get on base, which she does so with an excellent... Would you believe me if I said that wasn't on purpose? Because it wasn't. Regardless, her hit out to right field is a clean single that will chase Waluigi off the mound. And star pitcher for the Infernos, Mario, is brought up in the bottom of the 4th. That's danger. You really don't want him to have to come up until a little bit later, but he's definitely got the stamina to last, as Yellow Shy Guy hits a ball to center field that should have been caught out, but the boo comes out just in time to save him. That will allow the runner to advance to second on that double. Birdo advances to third, so it's now runner on second, runner on third, no outs. It's a big pop fly. This banana's loaded though, but with Chem, Dante and Red Noki are able to snag that one. They also almost get Yellow Shy Guy at second, but he keeps her wits about him just enough to tag up. Still possible for the Infernos to get out of this inning without any more damage, especially off the magnetic glove of Shy Guy, bringing in Statler's attempt at a right field hit and turning the double play to once again save the team from falling to a bigger deficit. That's the problem though. Lots of hero defensive plays for the Infernos. Hero offensive plays also need to come. Buddy, excuse me. So, will it come from Strawberry? Well, the first attempt simply hits foul. It'll be up to a little bit. I mean, it's the same hit, but aimed a little bit more true. It means that Shy Guy gets interfered with in the outfield by a bomb arm. Strawberry doesn't run off it, though. Sells for the single. But it's a good single nonetheless. Well aimed up the first baseline. And that'll be a hit. Unfortunately, though, Red Noki hits it right to Firebro for a base-clearing double play. which brings the Infernos back up to 2 outs at the top of the 5th. Former captain Waluigi, again reeled in by Birdo, who was unstoppable in this shortstop position today. And the Infernos remain quiet through 5. Why, Pete wants to try his luck with a slugging hit. A little bit more dangerous for the Piantas, but no. He'll settle for a slap off a Mario fastball. That is just a bit too weak. Not weak enough for Mario to field it, but weak enough for Buddy to get there with plenty of time to spare to secure the ground out. Salamander follows, and it's a deep hit that Strawberry needs to sprint for to get in position. Does so relatively safely, though. Strawberry led Noki securing that out for out number 2 of the inning against the Ron Eggs. Should be noted, that means that it's Thermite Firebow up next. So if Thermite gets out, that means that the most dangerous section of the batting order for the Ron Eggs will do nothing but smolder out. Lots of nice fire puns I can do with both these teams. The Ron Eggs by coincidence, and the Infernos because their names is the Infernos. Yeah, Thermite pop flies out, by the way. Also, Thermite being on this team. Really, all the Infernos should do is trade for Thermite, and then who knows what they can do, you know? Alright, Infernos, you're running out of time to get back in this game. You're down by 4, which was the same deficit that the Revenge successfully climbed their way out of last game. So, can the Infernos do it this time? Drybone seems to want to do so with a good single, but Otis will also need a base hit to continue the magic. That's a clean hit straight up the center, and that is just what they need. 2 singles back-to-back bring Boo to home base. No outs yet against the Infernos. Boo goes for a bomb and successfully snags it, and off an unsuspecting candidate, the Ron Eggs lead is cut from 4-1 as star pitcher Boo somehow finds another hit out of left field and successfully brings the Infernos right back into this game. Buddy now versus Thermite wants to copy Boo's successful hit, but this one will curve foul. That means with no outs back on the board, it's basically like Buddy is the first batter of the inning. And the Infernos are looking great. A star hit from Buddy is aimed very beautifully in the pocket. Not a double, doesn't go for it. Okay, I disagree with, you know what? Fair. Fair. I'm not sure Buddy could have reached second. Captain Dante just needs to tag up on a good base hit, but no. Birdo locks it down at shortstop yet again and successfully reels in that hit for the second out of the inning. Thermite against Mario. I said Mario was the best home run hitter that the Infernos had, and he wants to prove that. Wait, could this be a pillar shot? No. Curves just foul. On 2 strikes, Mario will slap it. It's a beautifully aimed slap that Sattler just fields before they get scorched. And it's 3-4 with Mario on base. Strawberry could easily advance this runner with a good slap, just need to do so. Contact is aimed beautifully. There's not going to be item interference in time. Mario runs for third, though, and slides. I think Mario thought that that ball was escaping into the outfield, which will end the Inferno's inning and get the Ron Eggs out of a scary position. They're still up by 1, but a 1-run lead is not a lot, and Mario's greed leads to the team having some trouble. So, perhaps embarrassed by that one, he comes in firing on Fire Bro with a quick fireball pitch. It will go to a 1-1 count, though, and Fire Bro caught out by Buddy at second base. No production from Fire Bro this game yet. Will we see that change later? Well, it's anyone's guess, but he'll have to step up at some point if he wants to keep earning that MVP level spot on the Ladder and Eggs roster. Yellow Toad stays consistent, though. That's a single. I'm here for you, Silver Lily. Regardless, Birdo. Now, 1 runner on, facing down Mario. That's a good slap, and it's not even too good a slap. That will successfully let her reach first with a single. out to right field. So now, 2 runners on. Yellow Shy Guy. Will it be the Shy Guy Blues yet again? Mario wants to bring those on, definitely. We'll see what Little Buddy's able to produce, though. The slap caught by the magnetic glove of Shy Guy, and that is a great way to end the inning on batter number 3 in the batting order. Good news for the Infernos, as they silence the Ron Eggs in yet another inning. And if their offense can keep on the gas, they could easily come back and, just like the Revenge, overcome a 4-run deficit for a comeback win. To do so, though, they need to score, starting with Red Noki, who grounds out. Alright, former Captain Waluigi. Not had a lot of luck this game. Will he be aided by an earthquake in the outfield? Well, Slap could use it, and he is! Yes, the banging drums beat out a bad beat. I don't know. I couldn't think of the alliteration time. It's a double from Waluigi when his team needs it thanks to field interference. So, he will be the tying run if the Infernos can get it this inning. And he could come in very easily if a Drybones hits a good hit. Drybones wants more than a tie game, though. Drybones wants the game, but just barely isn't able to get it. Statler and Yellow Toad make it with a millisecond of time to spare and snag the home run attempt. It was scary, but it was fielded. Right when the Ron Eggs need it to maintain their lead. It's not all sunshine and roses for them, though. The drums are a beating. Doesn't matter much this time, though. Otis's hit stays in the infield, and Berto quickly fields it for the 3rd out of this inning to send the Ron Eggs back to the batter's box. They've gone scoreless through 4 innings. Shut down the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. The 2 of those innings were extremely close for the Infernos. So Wario will be up first to try to put some life back in this Ron Eggs offense. That line drive in the pocket out to center left field is more than good enough for a single, so that's a start. What can Statler do? Well, what can anyone do off a fireball pitch? They can watch a strike fly by them. Mario tries to keep Wario honest at first, though you'll have a hard time against him of all players. It's a line drive from Statler that's a little bit too much of a line drive. Red Noki fields that one to center field quite easily. YP comes up. There's 1 out on the board. Unlikely for... Oh, boy, that's deep. Straight down the middle. Strawberry should be there in time if it's at risk of going out of the park, and it is. Strawberry and Red Noki make the buddy jump to catch that one. And despite Wario getting on base early, 2 quick outs against Statler and Yellow Pianta, both by center fielder Red Noki, put the Ron Eggs on their last legs for the inning. So, Salamander is up. We've seen home run caliber hits out of this player before. He has a runner on. The Ron Eggs still do hold the lead, but there's pressure from this Inferno's defense, and the pressure gets to Salamander. Big pop fly out to right, and center fielder Red Noki is responsible for all 3 outs in the inning. She safely brings that one in and keeps the Ron Eggs scoreless through 5. That will bring up the hero of the hour, Boo, who's responsible for the only Inferno run so far off a triple run homer. But no, it's a ground out for Boo, again off shortstop Berto. The Ron Eggs could be in a little bit of trouble. Thermite is about to swap off. He's been pitching since the start. If he swaps with Captain Berto, that's disaster, as the key shortstop will be off her position. Though she looks fine for right now, as Thermite has brought up 2 outs in this inning and might look to go the distance. Captain Dante is able to find the outfield, successfully hitting it just over Firebro's head for a single. So, in the top of the 8th, who comes up but Mario to try to bring in the tying run or maybe go for the lead. Thermite tries a star hit, but Firebro reels that one in. And the last... If the Infernos want this game. They'll have to do it in the last inning, the top of the ninth, as they've been down 1 run now for most of this game. 2 nail-biter games, back to back. Actually, 3 nail-biter games. All the games today have been fantastic. And our nails will continue to be chewed down to the root as Thermite is caught out by Buddy in second base. So, Firebro, he's been pretty quiet this game. I've flamed a lot of teams for what happens if their star hitter goes quiet. Will Firebro join that regimen? No! Oh! The ball is too high for Dante and Red Noki to catch, but because they were trying to catch it at the base of the roots, just a little bit inside the park, it barely doesn't clear the outfield. That means it's not a solo shot homer from Firebro, it's a double. Yellow Toad has been very consistent, but Mario, knowing that, is trying him with these fireball pitches. Still though, Yellow Toad able to successfully tag up, and now the Monarchs have runners on the corners for Captain Birdo. Can she find a hit? It's a steal attempt and a weak contact hit. A pow block stuns everyone on the field and will lead to 2 outs as Firebro just tries to tag up on home base regardless. Okay, I'm sorry for that quick little league moment that snuck in there. Regardless, great news for the Infernos. The top of the ninth, they need to score 1, but they will be facing a fresh pitcher. Thermite, after 8 innings, swaps with Captain Birdo. We've always seen Wario come in second, but no, Birdo wants to finish out this game. Now, with star power, she can basically guarantee an out whenever she wants, which, if Strawberry isn't able to get on base, would be a hell of a way to start this inning. Strawberry does, though. No! No, they don't! Strawberry's just a little bit too slow, and Statler successfully brings the ball in from center field to get Strawberry out. Red Noki caught out in left field, and it's do or die now for former Captain Waluigi. 2 outs on the board. The Infernos have been trailing by 1 the whole game. Strike number 1 from Birdo off a star pitch. Second one down the middle though. Waluigi does successfully hit it over Firebro, and Yellow Shy Guy is just too slow to bring it in. Still, Waluigi only sells for a single. Dry Bones now. There's a runner on. Easy money for Dry Bones? Yes, a good slap will hit the grass in center field. That means there's now 2 on. 1 on first, 1 on second. That's scoring position. Otis needs a base hit to keep the Infernos alive, or will they fall? Can the Infernos complete the comeback? It all comes down to this. 1 strike now against Otis. Second pitch from Birdo. Charge hit, swing from Otis, finds the pocket beautifully. Waluigi, the tying run, is running home, and it's not going to come there in time to stop him. It's now more than danger. It is now a tie game. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and the Infernos have a chance to have a lead going into the bottom of the 9th if Birdo is not able to stop them. Not being in shortstop position, though, puts her team in more danger as the hero of the hour, Boo, steps up to the plate. Runners in the corners. 2 out still. The drums are a beating. Any hit to center field could be a dagger to the Ron Eggs. Charge hit, but it's foul. That means that there's now 2 strikes. Birdo pitches it right on the inside. It's a pop that Yellow Toad gets under. If the Infernos want to go to overtime, they have to stop the Rotten Eggs from scoring. Well, where are the Rotten Eggs in their batting lineup? A rough spot, actually. Probably one of the weakest spots they could be in. Yellow Shy Guy, Wario, Statler. Is that odd batting order going to bite the Rotten Eggs now? Well, we've seen Shy Guy woes earlier today. We've also seen some Shy Guys smile. What can Yellow Shy Guy do for the Rotten Eggs to start off the bottom of the 9th? 2 strikes, swings on the 3rd. It's a beautiful single up the middle. Okay, the Rotten Eggs offense has started, but can it keep going? Wario has not had a lot of success. Deep but soft hits have been the name of his game. So, can he get on base when it matters now in the bottom of the 9th with Shy Guy on? Well, it's a fireball pitch from Mario to try to force him out. Wario swings on it, though, with a slap, and that's good contact for another single. The winning run, Yellow Shy Guy, is in position at second. Statler would have to be the batter to bring it in. What can he do, though, against a Mario who's still pitching fresh after 5 innings? What can he do after a fireball pitch? Nothing. That's strike 1. Pitch number 2 from Mario. It's another fastball down the middle. Statler watches. Strike 2. Count of 0-2. And the curveball. Statler makes contact. But he bobbles. And the pow block stuns Red Noki. And in the most tragic way possible, the Rotten Eggs walk it off with a single as they secure this game with a 4-5 scoreline in the bottom of the 9th. It's tight all the way until the end. But the Rotten Eggs, after holding on to a 1-run lead almost by desperation the whole game, re-secure it in the bottom of the 9th to win this game versus the Infernos. And the home field advantage streak remains alive. Statler with MVP honors for the RBI to win the game. And that is a hell of a game for the Infernos and the Rotten Eggs. The Infernos prove that with the right application of small ball, they can beat anyone, as they really bring it to the second-rated team in the league right now. Possibly the first, depending on how our next game goes. The Rotten Eggs, for their part, squeak it out. It won't add much to their run differential, but it will keep them right nestled up tight in the top of the standings. The Infernos, I believe, should stay in 4th place after that, but they fall to, again, a under 500 win-loss record, as they'll drop to a 4-5 win-loss record. I don't know what you want from me. I would say the most notable thing about this game is Firebow going completely silent for the Rotten Eggs. I've flamed a lot of teams in the past for what happens if their star batter goes quiet, their production just isn't there, and if you're relying on one player to be just that, all of your production for your team, it can go south very, very quickly. Regardless, it doesn't seem to matter for the Rotten Eggs this time. They barely hold on through 9 to secure it. And it's a tight race in the standings all around. A race that could get even tighter as we head into our last game of the Playday, as the Flowers face off against the Monsters. The two most dangerous hitting teams in the league heading to Mario Stadium. Mario Stadium has been a comfort pick, I think, for the Monsters. They played on it way back in Playday number 2, where they beat the Monarchs 6-1, though that was a very low-scoring game until the Monarchs, to my memory, just couldn't hold it together for the last couple of innings, and that's where the Monsters really gained their lead. They went to it again over in Playday number 5, where they secured a 12-15 game over the Revenge. Again, another close game on Mario Stadium. And they haven't been back yet. So their 2 games have been 2 close wins on Mario Stadium. You would expect them to be a derby team here, and they definitely were against the Revenge. But the question now to ask is, what do they do if King K. Rool steps up against Bowser? Well, you look at more consistent hitting here from the Monsters lineup, as Bowser Jr., Dark Bones, Blue Dry Bones, and Blue Magic Cooper are all excellent slap hitters in themselves to set up for the big boss. But you look at more consistent defense from the Flowers. They might not have the deep pitching staff, excuse me, that the monsters do, which is rare to say. Actually, they have arguably an equivalent staff with Luigi and Daisy versus Bowser Jr. and Bowser, but the Flowers start with a captain on the mound, whereas the monsters do not. Still, though, that outfield of Baby Luigi, Baby Daisy, and Red Yoshi is terrifying and could very easily shut down big hits from the monsters more easily than other teams, at least, which really matters on a stadium as small as Mario Stadium. Regardless, I would give the defensive edge to the Flowers. I would give the offensive edge to the monsters, but these teams have battled for the top spot neck and neck for the entire season, except for Playday number 1, where the monsters actually crushed the Flowers 22-9 on Wario City. So if the Flowers want this game, they'll have to do revenge as the away team, the first away team to win in now, let's just call it 11 games. Jesus. Okay, that almost makes me suspicious, but I think it's coincidence. I hope it's coincidence. Regardless now, to end off Playday number 9, the two titans of the league, the Flowers and the Monsters, face off on Mario Stadium as I run to go do the thing that I couldn't do at the end of last game. Oh, we're good. Actually, hang on. Sorry, Daisy, don't do anything. Okay, I come back just in time to see Daisy do a line drive to Goomba. Daisy, that's not what I meant by don't do anything, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So, Luigi now, Mr. Consistency, forces a bobble from Bowser to actually reach base. Mr. Consistency has not earned his nickname recently. Definitely not with hits like that. So Luigi steps up to the plate. Perhaps the more Mr. Consistent of the Consistency twins on this team. Though he won't force a bobble from Bowser. Bowser will simply catch that one out for the second out of the inning. And for a double play to end the inning. And the top of the first comes to a close quietly. We should expect something similar for the Monsters, as their first three are definitely three of the weakest batters in their lineup. Well, what can Goomba do? Something pretty good. Goomba's hit actually goes just barely over the head of Daisy, who doesn't make the jump in time. And that's a single to start off this inning. Koopa wants to do a sacrificial bunt to try to advance the runner. Bunts tend to work out pretty decently, but it will curve foul to put him on 2 strikes. Oh man, I feel like that foul block was targeted. Regardless though, no, actually. A slap to center field is caught out by Baby Daisy in time. And that will simply mean that's the first out against the Monsters. Paratroopa does actually find pay dirt though, successfully lining up a single of his own and putting a runner on first and second for the terrifying core of the Monsters, Bowser Jr. Easy mode is turned off now for the Flowers, as Bowser Jr. with extra star power is a beautiful hitter for the center of this monster squad. Well, he watches the first one, and the second one barely curves foul, so he has to find money on the third, which he does. Baby Daisy and Baby Luigi kind of scramble for it. Bowser Jr. is actually running for second and will get caught out for the second out of the inning. Weird base running, trying to snag a double. But regardless, it means that, well, one player touched home base and the Monsters are up 1. As Goomba gets home and Bowser Jr. goes a little bit too greedy. Says something for runners on the corners, says for out at second. Regardless, Dark Bones is too good a hitter not to pay attention to, with a double of his own to successfully bring in Paratroopa, and the Monsters are off to an early lead in this game. Bowser now. He treats Mario Stadium like a home run derby park. Can he do it against Luigi? Well, let's find out. Doesn't like the first two pitches. Simply slaps the third. The boost saves him, though, from a red Yoshi catch. And that means that run number 3 is able to be brought in by this Monsters offense. Again, the item play coming up so clutch for these teams. Bowser needed that one to secure the win. So now it's Magic Koopa up against Luigi. Again, another very consistent hitter, and if the Monsters are able to put up 4 in the first inning, that would be a disaster for the Flowers. Cyclone Ball from Luigi, caught by Magic Koopa, but not caught well enough. That ball goes right to Critter, who successfully snags it to end the inning. Down by 3 isn't great. It's not the bet. I mean, obviously, it turns out that losing is bad. Who would have thought? Great insight here from solo commentator Willie or Won't He. Regardless, Critter's hit should have lined up a man on base for King K. Rool, but is too close to the third baseline. K. Rool does crush it. There's no way anyone grabs that one. So it is a home run for the Flowers, and the first home run of the evening. But whereas the Monsters scored their ball through devastatingly effective small ball, the Flowers put up a butter stick through a solo shot homer from K. Rool. We probably expect more from him later in the game, but baby Luigi is not the type of batter that you expect devastating small ball to be from, and well, he's gonna have to do that if he wants to evade this infield. It's a good hit up the center, though. And that means that the baby's on base. That'll bring up weirdly consistent hitter, Red Yoshi, who just seems to be on base way too often for a man of his stature. Regardless, it's a line drive out to center right. Koopa does snag it, though, safely bringing that one in for out number 2 of the inning. So, the Flowers fall to the Daisy chain. Baby Daisy will be up first. Can she get on base like baby Luigi? No. Goomba gets under that. Pretty good shot, actually, to center left. That means that it's only 1 for the Flowers. They reduce the Monsters to a 2-run lead. But, well, the Monsters did so in a scarily consistent-looking way. Whereas the Flowers' 1 run, they can only attribute to a big home run hero hit from K. Rool. The second inning should tell us a little bit more about how this story will unfold, and Iwata grounding out is good news for any Flowers fan. Blue Drybones now faces down Mr. Consistency, though I should really come up with another nickname, considering. You can call him consistent on the pitcher's mound at least, as Blue Drybones hits a pop fly. It's easily fielded by center fielder Baby Daisy. So, 2 outs, top of the order. Goomba isn't much. Goomba isn't anything. Goomba hits the ball right to Critter. That's 3 up, 3 out against the Monsters, as the Flowers look to return back to the top of their batting order. They will do so off JC and whatever batting she is able to produce, which should be, considering, pretty solid. Slap hit. Just barely evades Bowser Jr.'s glove, actually, by a matter of inches. And she successfully tags up on first. That will start to tire out starting pitcher Magic Koopa, which is expected. You don't really expect Magic Koopa to last this long, so top of the third is pretty good performance from him. And if he can get a strikeout on Captain... Well, he's not going to get a strikeout with Daisy that close to the plate. She slaps it. Bowser snags it and is able to have just barely enough sense of mind to turn the double play. So, Luigi, your team needs you now. Can you get on base and set up Luigi, Critter, and K. Rool? No. Yes! I thought for sure that one was snagged, but no, it stays just out of reach of Bowser Jr. and allows the single. That'll chase Magic Koopa off the mound and bring in the oh-so-reliable Captain Bowser. He'll start warming up his pitching arm against Luigi. And pitcher's blessing strikes. It's a quick ground out. That's not devastating news for the Flowers, as they will be starting next batting inning with the Critter K-Will combo. And if Critter is able to get on base, well, that could end up in a tie game really quick if Monsters aren't able to put points on the board. To do so, they'll have to do it off the bat of Koopa and Paratroopa. The green shell, not quite sure where his aim will land. Well, oh no, the bobble. That's now a bobble from both captains, actually, as Daisy and Bowser both starting in the second base position. Wait, did Bowser bobble early in this game? There's been so many bobbles at second base this day that I can't actually remember, which is embarrassing. Well, she won't bobble the second one. She'll turn the double play off Paratroopa's bat and clear the bases. Still, it's not great news for the Monsters, as they still need to find their way past, well, the 4-5-6 lineup. Sorry, not great news for the Wilds, or the Flowers. It is 10:42 at night, and I'm solo casting. Whoops. Regardless, Bowser Jr., known for his consistency, actually caught out by shortstop Critter. Will Critter feel the vibes from that and get on base to set up for K-Will? Well, Bowser doesn't want it with a start pitch on the first pitch. Second pitch, though, is a simple fastball that barely evades the tip of Critter's mace. Third pitch fastball caught by Critter, and he wants more than to set up for a K-Will home run. He wants one of his own, as that one barely passes by the pole in left field and secures the second run for the Flowers. Beautifully aimed to make sure that no fan is able to get it. Good job, Critter. Still, now only down by one, can King K-Will secure back-to-back home runs for the Lizards. He'll have to do so off 2 strikes if he wants to go for it. He won't. He slaps. It's a good slap. So one Lizard hits a home run this inning, and K-Will totters his way to first base. If the tying run comes in this inning, it'll be K-Will's feet, though that'll take a while. He's not exactly the fastest runner. And Baby Luigi did successfully hit last at bat, but well, he's not consistent. Still, Bowser seems afraid of him with 2 star pitches? 3 star pitches to secure the out for Bowser. And that means that's a strikeout for Baby Luigi. Good job. Good job, Bowser. You struck out a baby by shooting him with a gun. Regardless, Red Yoshi stays weirdly consistent. K-Will thought it might have been caught and didn't run in time, though, so he'll be caught out at second. That means that responsibilities will fall to Red Yoshi to try to tie this. And after Baby Daisy's hit barely evades the glove of Bowser Jr., we're in the middle of the daisy chain, excuse me. JC up now, but she hits it right to Bowser Jr. The power block isn't fired in time, and the inning ends. That means it's a second 1-run inning for the Flowers. Good news for them, but can they keep it up? Well, the Monsters would love to start something of their own, as they've got Dark Bones Bowser back-to-back. Both capable of hits on a small field like Mario Stadium, but Dark Bones settles for a slap. That'll be a good hit out of center field. That's a single. Alright, Bowser, you have the opportunity to triple your lead with a good hit here. When on first, he wants it with a charge, but the curveball evades his bat this time. Inside pitch from Luigi forces weak contact and allows the double play to clear the bases. Excellent pitching from Luigi. So, 2 outs now. Magic Koopa might be a consistent hitter, but he, well, actually isn't looking consistent enough right now. 3 outs and 3 batters against the Monsters, and they have not been able to score since their electric bottom of the first. That means we're back to the top of the order for the Flowers. Wait, really? Jeez, I didn't even realize. Regardless, Captain Daisy strikes first blood as the first batter with an excellent shot out to center right. That will hopefully give Mr. Consistency a little bit of a boost. No, he continues to want to retire his namesake. He's consistently out at least. Bowser Jr. makes the diving play and successfully turns the double play to clear those bases. That means that if, well, the Flowers want to reach K-Will this inning, they'll have to do it off the bat of Lou, Easy, and Critter. They won't do it at all. Luigi's hit, reeled in by Magic Koopa. Excellent reflexes on the old mage to snag that one. And that means that once again, next inning, the Flowers will start off with a Critter KO combo. Meanwhile, the Monsters need to find their way back to the devastating part of their lineup. They're starting at batter number 8, Iwata, who's not had a lot of luck so far. Facing down a still fresh Luigi, the starting pitcher from the Flowers, still going strong, despite being the losing team, which is not something that you see very often, but to be fair, the Monsters did start Magic Koopa. Iwata caught out by Daisy at second base, and the second batter, Blue Drybones, also caught out by Daisy in a very similar hit. That means we'll go back to Goomba at the top of the inning, and Daisy reels in all 3 for 3 up, 3 out against the Monsters in what is huge for her team. Okay, excellent start. Can they finish it? Well, there's 4 more innings left to find out. Critter and K-Rool both have 1 home run so far. Critter wants to hit his second, but I believe the Monsters are there in time. Koopa, the one to make the jump for that one. And stopping a double home run, second home run in a row from one Lizard. However, can they stop the home run from the second Lizard? Nobody expects the second Lizard. And K-Rool actually hits it too softly. He knocks it out to right field where Paratrooper easily fields it. Well, they expected the second Critter. Never mind. So, it'll fall to Luigi, baby Luigi. We have 3 goddamn Luigis on this team. And 2 Daisies. Oh my god. Alright. 3 Daisies. God, we have 3 Luigis and 3 Daisies. What is this? I can't believe that only just clicked for me. I'm gonna calm my nerves as Red Yoshi hits it right to Bowser Jr. for the second out. It's another low-scoring, tight one-run game as the Flowers trail by 1. The Monsters have a chance for an explosive inning as Bowser Jr. will be coming up later. Koopa and Paratrooper are up first though. If they can get on base, it's big danger. Koopa wants on base. Koopa wants more than on base with a big deep hit. This one's staying in the park. It does bounce off the wall by an inch. You know what the funny thing is? If Baby Daisy was grown up, I think she would have grabbed that ball. But since she's a baby, it bounces off the wall, stays fair, and Koopa gets a double off it. Beautiful. Paratrooper's hit though, fielded by Critter, who rights the ship by turning the double play and securing 2 outs against the Monsters. Bowser Jr. had a little bit of trouble his last at-bat by hitting it right to Critter. Can he evade the infield this time? Luigi continuing to put on a clinic on the mound. No, Critter has to die for this one this time, but Bowser Jr. out to the same player twice in a row. It's not 3 up, 3 down, but it is 3 batters, 3 outs against the Monsters, and they have been unable to score since the first inning. The Flowers bring up the daisy chain as Baby Daisy starts off the top of the 7th. Look how low Bowser has to pitch to hit that strike zone. Beautiful. Regardless, Bowser Jr. does field it just in time to avoid the shell interference, and that's out number 1. So, JC comes up. Can she avoid... Well, she won't be able to avoid a bullet bill pitch from Bowser, as that's strike number 1 against her. Will Bowser go for 3? No. He'll go for a fastball down the middle. That's good contact that a Boo saves. We thought that Goomba would get right under that, but no. The Boo barely stops him, and now there's a run on first. Captain Daisy comes up. If she can advance the runner with a big deep hit, Bowser knows the danger and pitches another start pitch to secure strike number 2. Will he secure the strikeout? Yes, he will. That is strike number 3 off another bullet bill. And that is a out when he needs it. You can be proud of that one, Bowser, sure. But he is starting to tire. All these bullet bill pitches starting to wear down the captain. So it will be up to Luigi. Never mind. It'll be up to Luigi next inning as the Flowers are kept silent in the 7th. They still trail by 1. So the Monsters, despite not scoring since the 1st, still lead this game. But it's fragile. They need more runs, and they need it now. Darkbone's Pop Fly actually finds the perfect location, despite how slow it is, to just barely evade Daisy's grasp. That will be where Luigi calls it quits. Captain Daisy comes in, and she'll have to find her way through the bottom of the 7th as Bowser hits it big and hits it deep. Baby Luigi and Baby Daisy are there though. They don't jump. Oh no. They just don't jump. Why? Baby Luigi is one of the only fielders in the game that could have made that jump, and he didn't go for it. Well, that's the first home run for the Monsters to bring them back up to a 3-run lead, and now the Flowers need to find their way out of this, and they need to do it quickly. They've only got 2 opportunities at the batting box left, and they've been shut down pretty solid by this Monsters defense. Daisy wants to use a flower pitch on Iwata. There's banana support. This should disrupt Critter. Yes, it does. And Iwata successfully reaches first base. Can't panic on that one, buddy. Blue Dry Bones, though. Facing off. No item support for him, but he finds good aim to center right field to put runners on the corners for the Monsters. And it is now Danger City. Sorry, let me check my map here. Okay, it's Mario Stadium. But Luigi panics from the bomb, gets a little bit too scared, and doesn't secure the inning-ending double play, meaning that Iwata successfully gets to touch home and brings the Monsters' lead back up to 4. And there's still potential for more damage. Goomba and Blue Dry Bones on first and second. Well, finally, some relief for the Flowers as Luigi and Critter bring in a double play to end it, but the Monsters score 3 off, 1 big home run and 1 fumble from Luigi when they need it. So, if they want back in this game, the Flowers have to come up big in the top of the 8th and the top of the 9th. Luigi isn't able to be that man. With Bowser starting to tire, that's some good news. But Critter needs a big hit deep now. He'll watch strike number 1. Bowser trying something on the inside here. Critter tracks it beautifully, but isn't able to clear the infield. Third baseman Darkbones turns over that one for the second out of the game. K-Rool, 1 home run so far this game. I actually don't know if that one's gone. Paratroopa snags it with a super jump successfully and stops the heroics. If the Flowers want back in this game, they will need to score at least 4 after their star slugger is caught out by a beautiful play in right field. Alright, Monsters. Can you make this even more out of reach? The batting order says probably. Paratroopa getting on base says almost definitely. Paratroopa with a good single. And now that brings up Bowser Jr. If he can just avoid the infield here for Darkbones and his dad, well, that's great news for the Monsters. And avoid the infield he does. Touching grass, just a little bit too late for Paratroopa to feel comfortable ending for second, so that will be another out there. We should come up with a name for that, like a hesitancy out? Regardless, Darkbones doesn't want to wait for Bowser. He wants to crush this one, and he does. A big 2-run homer from Darkbones all but ices this game as the Monsters climb their way up to a 6-run lead. Beautiful, beautiful hit. Forces Daisy off the mound, and that's the last thing that the Flowers need. They bring in K-Rool from catcher position. I mean, he's got some pretty good fastballs. Not a lot on the stamina side, but, I mean, look at that fastball. Regardless, Bowser needs to find his way past him, and he won't. It's a slap hit that results in a fly out to Baby Luigi in left field. So, now what can Magic Koopa do? Well, against K-Rool, Slap Hit just goes to Critter, and we're going to find out now. The Flowers need a magical inning. They're down 6, and they're starting in the worst spot in their batting order they could possibly be in. Baby Luigi is up first against a tiring Bowser. Bowser choosing not to fire bullets at a baby this time, as the fastball is caught, but fielded by Bowser Jr. quickly. That's out number 1. Bowser continues to tire, but looks to try to close out this game, as it's all but desperation mode now for the Flowers. They need something big in order to bring themselves back into it. And top of the 9th, 1 out. Well, Red Yoshi does hit a single, so that's a start. If he doesn't touch home plate, if he doesn't touch home plate, he's out, and then that's 2 outs, and the Flowers definitely will lose. Regardless, it looks like that's exactly what to happen. Baby Daisy hits it to Dark Bones, and the hero of the offense seals up the defense. The Monsters, again, win their game over the Flowers, 2-8. The entire Playday is swept by the home team again, which is starting to worry me because it's starting to feel a lot less like a statistical improbability. And the Monsters secure their game and secure 2nd place in the league, leapfrogging the Flowers, as both of them will now sit at a 6-3 record. But the Monsters, again, with a monstrous now plus 29 run differential. Also, by chance, securing 1st in the league yet again for the Rotten Eggs. The Monsters prove they're here to play, as Bowser proves that he is one of the best captain players out there. And that 2-8 looks beautiful for this squad. Well, the Flowers tried their best. Both Critter and K-Rool did do their part, hitting 2 home runs for the Flowers' only runs of this game. But it was the small ball, the players who are supposed to set up for the Sluggers, that fell flat. Meanwhile, small ball for the Monsters went about as beautifully as it could. That early 3-run lead only solidified by big home runs at the finish line. And again, the Monsters secure another win over the Flowers. I'll put them up 2-0 in the season series against the Flowers. And yeah, there's not a lot to say. Dark Bones with a home run, which is weirdly rare for him. He usually just sets up for Bowser, but credit to him taking it to the Flowers defense this time. Bowser Jr., weirdly quiet game on his side, and Iwata and Magic Koopa couldn't turn up for much. But again, the Flowers, if the small ball players of Daisy, Luigi, and Luigi don't show up, well, there's a lot less room for error now that Baby Luigi joins the squad. Green Magic Koopa steps off, and that's a lot weaker of a back batting portion for the Flowers. So they're going to suffer for it and suffer their 2nd loss in a row after a 6-game winning streak. Again, only scoring 2. That's 2 games in a row, where the Dynamite Flowers squad only scores 2, which is okay. It's a little scary, but it's not much yet. I mean, the Monsters are great on defense as well as offense. And the Wilds were an upset, but it was an extremely close upset. There's a lot to see in terms of how this plays out still. Regardless, it's not like they're sitting in a dangerous spot. They continue to remain as one of the best teams in the league by a pretty comfortable margin. They will just have to do so from 3rd place as opposed to 1st in these standings. I will tally up where the standings are exactly and update them accordingly for us. Scrambled eggs. Lost the game by 1. Monarchs won the game by, I believe, 3. Monarchs won the game by 3, yep. And the Revenge scored their 2nd win of the season by 1. it's a dynamite Playday until we get to the most dynamite game that we could have. And, well, the top of the scoreboard is shaken up. The Flowers need to figure out their recent batting woes if they want to return all the way to the top. Right. The standings are updated. Let's see where we stand at the end of Playday number 9. Well, surprisingly to me, I think pretty surprisingly, and off the back of 2 thievery wins against the Monsters, first place in the league belongs yet again to the Rotten Eggs. After a pretty good start in the first 3 games, being the last team to go undefeated, they faced a little bit of trouble facing back-to-back losses that sent them down to the middle of the scoreboard, but 4 wins in a row for them will bring them back up to the top of the leaderboard with a league, well, second place, plus 18 run differential. You want to talk about run differential, though? You talk about the Monsters. 6-3 plus 29. A monstrous run differential, helped quite a lot by the fact that their only 2 that of their 3 losses, 2 of them were by 1 run to league leader Rotten Eggs, which is so funny that I'll keep bringing it up. Still, though, that's a lot lower than the leading teams in Season 1 in Grand Slam Galaxy at this point, so I'm pretty happy about that. The Flowers, after facing 2 back-to-back losses off of weak batting performances, will fall to 3rd in the league. But they remain relatively comfortable there, as they're 2 wins above the Infernos, Wilds, and Monarchs. All they need is a couple good wins to bring them back into a playoff or a quarterfinal skipping position. Speaking of, the Infernos, Wilds, and Monarchs all bring up the middle of our pack right now, sitting at a 4-5 record each, and all of them with negative run differentials. The Infernos doing the best out of the lot with their small ball providing tight, interesting games to say the least. The Wilds, a little bit of a resurgence, is cut short by their loss today to the Monarchs, who pull their squad together after a losing streak to bring themselves back up to 4-5, close enough to a 500 win-loss record if they can keep that up. And then at the elimination spots, the Scrambled Eggs with their loss, funny enough, because of all their 1-run losses at the start of the season, second in the league has a monster run differential because 2 of their losses were only by 1 run. 7th in the league has a positive run differential because like 3 of their losses were by 1 run. So the Scrambled Eggs will sit 3-6 with a positive +5 run differential right now. They're only 1 win behind the Infernos, Wilds, and Monarchs. So 1 win next Playday could easily shoot them way up the scoreboard if they're able to latch onto it. And the Revenge will remain trailing behind. They are only 1 win behind the Scrambled Eggs now, but with a -16 run differential, it'll be a hell of a climb to get themselves out of that hole still. 500 still is in reach for them, but they'll have to go perfectly the rest of the season. With how close their games were in the first half, it's always possible. But we'll see whether or not the Revenge curse strikes again. I have been your commissioner of the league, Will E or Won't He. Thank you for joining me for Playday number 9. We're off next week and this Saturday, as I am on vacation, and I will see y'all probably September 27th for Playday 10 of Grand Slam Galaxy. I'm just going to end the stream here, so thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, play ball, and good night, everybody.